To understand the environment, you have to understand why American government today is an oligarchy. And in this chart right here, I'm going to explain it to you in just a second. This is very easy to understand, not a lot of things. So what this chart explains to you is the student debt crisis, the multiplier effect, and the oligarchy. How all these three variables equal to what Bernie Sanders have always said is a rigged economy. And this will give you a clear, precise example of how this economy is rigged. So today we have a student debt crisis equals to 1.2 trillion. So here's the actual number. That's how much money students across the nation, quote unquote nation, owes back to the bank. I mean, do you in your right mind think that we're all gonna pay this back? We have an internship that we have to go through after college that pays us $10 an hour. If we're lucky, most internships don't pay shit. Okay, so let's go over a few things. So this is how the economy works. People borrow students borrow $1.2 trillion. Now, when money is injected into economy, a law that is under the name of a multiplier effect takes place. Now, the multiplier effect means a quote-unquote trickle-down effect, which means that 20% gets absorbed by the next step and 80% continues down. Okay, we've all heard the whole trickle-down effect, and it really works. And let me show you how it works. So $1.2 trillion trickling down through the multiplier effect to the student, and the student keeps $960 billion. But he doesn't keep it. He spends it. He keeps 20% of it. So the 20%, whatever the hell it is, minus whatever, equals the 80% that gets passed down to the school. Now the school keeps 20% and injects billion of dollars, into jobs. And this kind of continues on to, we round it off at a fifth step, which brings us total to about $4 trillion. So I have given you a precise example of how trickle-down economy works through a multiplier effect by injecting $1.2 trillion through students, into schools, into jobs, and into the economy. And we have a volume of this injection that is equals to $4 trillion. Now let's sum this up. So a bank gives students $1.2 trillion so that students then injects that into school, which then injects into economy. Economy is grown by $4 trillion. Economy benefits, and since the $4 trillion now is sitting in the bank instead of $1.2 trillion, guess who actually benefits? The whole thing is rigged, ladies and gentlemen. Oligarchy. That's how oligarchy works. We have debt slaves, the students. We have the guards, which is the school. They're following orders, they're following regulations that the government sets because it relies on the economy. It relies on $4 trillion. This is oligarchy. And this is the reality that we're facing. We're also facing a legitimate crisis that $1.2 trillion is impossible for students to get, because that just doesn't make any sense. They have to return the money that bank has multiplied through them that really never existed in the first place, because, well, you're just gonna have to figure out and learn how money works. I'm not gonna go into details right now, but basically the $1.2 trillion never really actually existed because we have fiat money. That's another term that you ought to look up. Fiat money, and how is money created in the United States. And keep in mind what I just said. So, even if you made it this far, you have probably absorbed enough information to start questioning the whole reality of economy in the United States. Currently, there are two candidates that are up for grabs. It is Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders had always ran on the same thing. He ran against oligarchy. He called them out by name. He explained things. He always voted. His judgment is very, very sound. His imagination is caused by his judgment. Now, Hillary Clinton is a product of Cold War mentality. It is a product of status quo. It is a product of playing safe. We are running out of time. Like I said, there's going to be 3 variables in the next 4 to 8 years. That's the presidency that we're talking about. Next presidency, we're going to have artificial intelligence that is going to be completely disrupting the marketplace. We're going to have 3D printing that's going to be completely disrupting supply chain management. We're going to have people, instead of ordering things on Amazon, they're going to be printing them and getting them on their desktop within 24 hours when the printer is done printing it. We're going to have self-driving cars. These 3 variables are going to start taking root in our reality. Whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. We need desperately a different kind of an economy that works for the people. Because as a survivor of a collapse of a union, trust me, we do not want to go through another collapse of a union, especially a union that's been together for the last 200 years. We can figure it out. We're the richest country in the world. We just need to have enough faith in the better future. And we have to let go of the status quo. It's like the monkey bars. You have to let go of the other thing in order to grab the next one. And if we are too scared to do that, then whatever the outcome is without Bernie Sanders, we deserve it. With Bernie Sanders, we have a future that we can all believe in and build together. It is we. That we can stand together, we can win together, we can create a better future. Thank you.